Here it is.
Hey,
Hey,
Mom,
Ricky,
you beat me this time. What's up,
guess
honey?
what? The doctor is in. Oh, the future doctors are in. Oh my gosh, the interns are in. This is an exciting, exciting show. Happy Wednesday, everybody. The doctor is in. Ricky, tell us about this intern program. How did it even come to you? How did this whole thing get started?
So, we actually started it before we had Touch. I started it with the Triple Negative Breast Cancer Foundation, and we were working with immunomedics at the time bought by Gilead, right? And so I wanted to find a way to reach young people because, it really stems in what I always talk about, how Black families do not talk about health. We don't until Uncle Pookie gets his leg amputated or Grandma Edith is in hospice, and like people say, how'd that happen? And so I believe our young people, these beautiful faces you see on the screen, will be the people in the family that can start these conversations and say, hey, Mom, what's her story? Hey, Grandma, did you get your mammogram? And so I really wanted to talk to them. And also the numbers for breast cancer for young Black women are just horrific. Black women under 30 are getting breast cancer at 4 times the rate of white women. That's crazy. And so, and we started talking to young people and he said, they're not talking to their moms about breast health. They're not talking to their families about it. And our first group of interns, I learned pretty quickly that these conversations that we asked them to have with their moms was the first time they talked to them. And so I said, we have something here because I want these great minds to go home and talk to their parents and make these conversations happen. And so we have a couple of repeat interns this time, which I love. And we have Ari. And so then Ari came into my life and she was the perfect example of, oh my God, a 19-year-old with triple negative breast cancer. And then I said, oh my gosh, we got to talk to more young people. And so it sort of evolved from there. And now I think you guys make us at about 40 interns we've had. So we have a 10-week program and we pay money, a little bit of money. We ask them to talk to their moms and make videos with their friends and then post on their social media. And so Haley's gonna show you some examples of what they've posted. And Ari kind of manages the program and Haley helps Ari out. And now it's become like a family thing. And we're so glad you guys are here. And these guys are done today. They've been weeks. They're in finals. Are you guys taking finals? It sucks right now, but it's going to be over soon. So why don't we go around and let them all talk about where they're from and everything. And then Haley's going to give a little scoop on what they've been doing, and Ari too. And then we'll let them talk about what they've done. Right. So you guys go first. Who wants to go first? Anandi.
Hi, I'm Anandi. I go to Xavier University of Louisiana, and I'm a biology pre-med sophomore. This is my second season interning.
Yeah. And Saint.
Hi, I'm St. Louis. I'm from Guilford, Indiana, and I'm a sophomore at Tuskegee University. I'm about to go into nursing school next semester.
Cool. And I met Saint, actually, I met him because, was it your godmother, Saint, or your mother? Who was it, your godmother? Somebody called me and started kind of grilling me about the internship. And I'm like, I'm talking to her, I'm answering all the questions. And I'm like, well, who are you? And she's like, well, I'm representing my child here to make sure it's a valid program. So,
yeah, that's my mom. That's how she is.
That was your mom.
Awesome. That is so awesome. She made sure that we were sure. Wow.
But I did that to Amanda. When Amanda first went to intern in Obama's Senate office, I called the person that was the head of the interns and asked them what the dress code was because I was going to have to buy the clothes. I wanted to make sure that she was going to be dressed properly. She was so mad when I did that. But anyway, that's what mothers do. And London.
My name is London. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I go to Hampton University and I'm a bio pre-med major. And I'm a junior.
I love it. Love it. And Chelsea.
Hello, I am Chelsea. I'm a chemistry major. I'm a junior at Texas Southern University as well.
PSU, okay.
Yeah. So we got the country represented and Ari, you want to introduce yourself for the 45th?
Adriana, I see her over in the.
Oh, Adriana, I did you Adriana. I'm sorry, Adriana.
You're fine. Hi, I'm Andriana Wright. I'm from Madison, Wisconsin. I am a senior attending Grambling State University. I'm a biological sciences major.
Whoa, love it, love it, love it. And this is her
Yeah,
second.
good for you guys.
Yes, this is my second semester
Yep,
of doing this.
yeah. So glad to have you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mo. I'm representing Florida A&M. You know, I'm just kidding. We didn't have a FAMU intern this year. So I said, you know what? I got to put on my sweatshirt. There it is. Represent for my HBCU, Ari.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And Ari,
Introduce yourself.
Who, me?
hey, you.
Oh, hi. Well, I'm Ari. I'm the baby thriver of Touch. Now coordinating with all of the interns. You know, it's such an honor to have this position because when I was diagnosed in college. So I just don't want to see any more young women go through anything that I've been through. And if I could do anything to make a difference in that, it would be starting with Touch and reaching out with y'all and getting down to y'all's level. And, you know, I'm always here for anyone. If any of y'all have questions or your friends have questions, I'm always here.
Great. Part of our family. And Haley.
And hi, I'm Haley Brown. I'm the Director of Programs and Partnerships for Touch. Ricky is also my mom, which is cool. Saying I feel you on the moms being really involved in your life. Clearly, I am signing up for it now, so it kind of goes full circle, I guess. But yeah, so I do all the events and fun things, and also really want to make sure that Touch is reaching young Black women, of course. That's a huge part of why I got invested in this work, and I hope to do more with the HBCUs and continue to build this internship to be something that is amazing and fun, and launching a new campaign with focusing on young women soon. So stay in touch.
Right. So Haley, go with your thing.
Awesome. So I'm going to quickly, Mom, if you just enable screen sharing at the bottom of your screen there, I will share my screen. But basically, I'm just going to share a couple of posts that some of our interns who couldn't make it today, I want to make sure they were represented. So just put together a couple little things for us to see here. So our internship, if anybody's out there and wanting to intern, we obviously are looking forward doing getting ready for our next round this winter and another round in the late spring into summer. But this is some of the things that happen from this fall. So here's an intern post that says, find more info on the website below. Definitely go to touchbbca.org, Black Breast Cancer Awareness Everything. In October, we did so much, and I really love this post that it said, knowing it exists is just not enough, right? We have to act on these things. We can't just be aware. We actually have to take action, which I love that post as well. Here is another post just about supporting the fight. I think that we know at Touch that we can't do this work alone. So a huge part of our mission is to find partners and to find people who are willing to advocate for, survivors and anyone going through this struggle. And then obviously a huge reason as why so many people even find their breast cancer is by doing self-breast exams. And we all want to make sure that all young Black women and all Black women in general, and men know they're normal, right? We want to make sure that we are doing enough self-breast exams to know our normal. That way, if we saw something or noticed something, we would be able to notice that change and to go to a doctor immediately. So these steps will help us perform a self-breast exam. One is to examine your breast in the mirror. 2, raise your arms and examine the breasts. There's some lovely videos out in the world of me doing this if anybody wants to see too. So
Here too is that, these guys came up with this stuff on their own, Mo. We give them a little content, but then they go find it and put it to practice, right?
Mm-hmm. So the third step was here for look for signs of breast fluids, nipples can do weird things, so you want to make sure you check them out. Feel for breast lumps while lying down, and feel your breasts for lumps while sitting or standing. So yeah, that's a solid self breast exam, something to do on the reg to, again, know you're normal. And then I have the first video is a little bit long, so I don't know if you want to go through that one first and we can maybe come back to them, or I can show it now, up to you.
Let's do the shorter one and we'll come back if we have time.
Okay, cool. So we have a video here from one of our amazing interns who's also a long family friend of mine, Jada Blair, and we're going to show that one a little bit later. But I thought this other intern video was really cute. Ari, this is Jada, but this is, I just love this TikTok here in this next one. Sorry. Just because I thought it was like super age appropriate, fun, approachable way to like say, hey, I know how to do this and I'm awesome because I know how to do this. So there's a cute little TikTok, and then we can get started with hearing from everybody else.
Here, star, come get in my car.
Just a quick little TikTok moment. I loved how she is the sister who knows how to do a self breast exam and then shows her sister, so now the sister knows how to do it. And so we really, word of mouth and passing on these messages is a huge part of our work. So hoping that you guys can all learn from everybody. And then, yeah, if you are interested in, a special shout out to our intern coordinator, Ari. Just wanted to shout her out there. And then again, I'll put my information on blackdoctor.org. So if you are interested in interning ever or know somebody that needs an internship, hit me up. Thank you guys.
But I think,
Wow, that's incredible.
I know, but I love
And-
how like we wouldn't be on TikTok if it weren't for, you know, I mean, I don't even have
That
time.
is true.
Let me ask our interns about the power of social media. I think that our generation is just starting to learn of the power of influence through social media. But can you speak a little bit about, I guess, the ways in which you have seen social media campaigns affect people's behavior, right? Like, does it really influence what people do?
Stage thinking. What do you guys think?
I think it does. It has a lot to do with the everyday decisions that young people make every day. Especially with, we just had midterms, midterm elections, for example. And the problem that we have with that is that not enough young people vote. And there was a huge surge of social media posts, I know in my school, to just encourage people to vote. And I think there was a significant increase this year with young people voting. So, relating that to, this internship, posting about breast cancer when it's not, specifically Breast Cancer Awareness Month, it still gives that reminder to people that, it's not a disease that only comes up in October. It's a year-round disease. So social media has a huge impact because we're on it every day, 24/7. And so it's just important that, the word gets spread around through that platform, because that's where teens and young adults listen.
So Adriana, I hear you saying that there's a positive influence of social media, not just a negative one, right? Because I think
Yes.
it gets a bad rap, doesn't it? That people only go to see, people falling and ratchet stuff. And I mean, we laugh a lot at some of the voiceovers and the response posts on TikTok, but it actually can influence social movements, huh?
Right. Yeah. If you know where to get the accurate and correct information, it can be, the gateway to more knowledge,
Have any of you had some people comment on your posts and say they learned something, or that was dope, I didn't know that before, or I shared that, I passed it along? Anybody? What have your peers and colleagues been saying?
I have a friend, he told,
You can go.
yeah, okay. Well, I have this friend and he told me that he looks at my stories kind of like the newspaper, and he'll just sit and just read whatever I posted. And that's why when I post, like, I make the music real, like like ambiance. So you're more comfortable just reading it for a while. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. You must say things, profound things on your, that makes them want to listen. I love that.
You do. And the songs are always great that you put on the post. I be loving the songs.
But social media is such an integral part of your lives. You know, I mean,
I think Chelsea wanted to say something, Ricky.
that.
I was just gonna say that people slide up, I post on Instagram and people slide up on my story, and a lot of times people ask me, how do I make my flyers? Because when I make my touch flyers, I make them myself, and I also try to make them like really creative and colorful, and just like incorporate like, I don't want to say memes, but maybe like things that like a lot of younger people would understand, like very interactive. And a lot of people always ask me like, where do you make your flyers? Even Roland, he's not on the card, but Roland is the other intern that goes to TSU, and he was also one of the people who stood up. He was like, where do you get these flyers from? Like, how are you making them? And then I gave him the website. And then when I did that, me and him both started making really nice flyers. And I know people have also interacted with his flyers as well.
So what was your best post? Like what post did got the best numbers?
I made this post. It's like you know how like the Brady Bunch has like 9 squares, and like each square has a different person in it. And I made yeah, I had like in the middle, I made like be breast aware. That's what I put in the middle, and like on the surrounding 8 squares, I had different like African paintings in each square, and it was like pink, purple, orange. It was very colorful, and it was very, I made all my posters to look Black. It was all towards Black women, and it was like Black women in head wraps and African prints and things like that. And I think a lot of people stood up on that one and was like, wow, that's really like creative. Like, where'd you get this from? And I always put the touchbbca.org at the bottom of my flyers. And I got a lot of feedback on that one.
Oh, very cool. Cool. Anybody else? That sounds good. And Chelsea's at work. So she's doing this from work. God bless her. Anybody else? What was your best number performing post?
I wouldn't say this was the best number, but I think when I posted that men can actually get breast cancer too, that shocked a lot of people because they didn't know that. So, yeah.
Interesting, huh? So people are actually like, whoa.
Like, really? Yeah.
Wow. Interesting, huh? But see, like you guys are giving out information that people didn't know. How cool is that? When you can like pass on something that you're really teaching your audience or your friends or your peers new information. You know, that's to me the value of this internship, is that you're telling people stuff that they would not have heard otherwise, right? Which is pretty
and so much younger than they would have heard it if they were going to come across this information at some point in life. Like, it's just so great to know, to be in the know now, because so many medical things and breast health in general is about just being in the know, I feel like.
Yeah, it's true. My youngest patient right now is 17. You
Really?
know, like, come on. Yeah. She's taking senior class pictures, you know, like how do you even begin to talk about cancer? It's so many different challenges. And I think that we sometimes underemphasize the amount of stress that our youth are under, right? Like you guys got a lot riding on you, a lot on your plates. And, you know, I remember how it is to have to be the translator and be the one person who knew medical things, and you had to answer a lot of questions for family and, you know, kind of be that bridge to individuals. So, I mean, are your peers, do you think that we're doing a better job overall of talking about our health, especially breast health, as families and as communities, as sororities, fraternities? You know, are people talking about this stuff more than before?
I think definitely, because even if it's not at the forefront of their mind, since they're seeing it on social media, it's like on their radar. Like just the thought of breast cancer is like more in there than it was before.
I would definitely say I want to agree with Saint. My school, they had like a pink table talk during October, which I couldn't go to, unfortunately. But this was in the 2 years I've been here, they didn't have one last year. So I was kind of really excited to see that they were talking about breast cancer. Especially like October, we had a whole week for kind of breast cancer awareness week in a sense. So they had like some events, different students who were like, I guess ambassadors for different brands and things. They had like we had these things called Live Music Fridays. So they had like them come out, have like little tables and everything. And I just really enjoyed it. So I'll definitely say we are trying to speak up about it more. It is definitely kind of coming to the forefront. And so, yeah.
Andriana, how about you?
I definitely agree that, I'm sorry, I missed the second half of the question.
I want to know your best post.
Oh, my best post. Well, with my post, I like to do discussions.
Yeah.
So I would ask, questions. I would post to like a statistic, and then like, why do you think that is? I got a lot of feedback about, why people thought that, African Americans are more prone to or are more likely to die from breast cancer. I think in the beginning of this internship, I asked, what do you want to know about breast cancer? And somebody asked if you could get breast cancer from hickeys. And I was I was a little shocked, but I was so happy that
That's a good question,
it was
though. Yeah.
anonymous. Yes, it was anonymous questions, and I was just so happy that this person was comfortable, asking a legitimate question, because if you know what a hickey looks like, it looks like a bruise, and and so I had to do a little bit of research, and hickeys don't cause breast cancer, but I was just,
We would have a lot more patience if it
right.
did.
But that was kind of the highlight of this entire thing for me, that somebody had asked a question that, that I was able to open a space for people to just ask whatever question, that came to their mind about health. Because I think that's what prevents us from talking a lot about health, because we have questions that we're afraid to ask, because we're afraid it might be stupid, we're afraid we might be wrong, we might not be talking about the right thing. And so I was just so excited that people felt comfortable asking questions and coming to me and feeling safe in my space. So,
And it's like, who cares? Who
right,
cares? Who
because
cares?
I'm sure
I
20
wanna
other
ask.
people had the same question.
You better believe it.
I actually love that you initiated this process by saying, what do you guys want to know? Right? Because that
Right.
is such a powerful way to engage with any community.
Yeah. Interesting that I wonder where the hickey was. And I wonder if it was the hickey receiver or the hickey giver.
All the above. I think that's a great question, though. The one that honestly, of all the slides and all the talks I've ever given, that has never come up. But it might.
It seems like a genuine question, though.
It
It's
is.
legit. It's truly
Mhm.
legit. I agree. I got to include that, definitely. London, how about you? How's your experience been? And have people responded well to your post? Anybody have any strange questions or anything, or
Well, I actually wanted to say, London, I think it was your post. I saw two that I really, really liked. One of them was about chemo brain and like how to help out with chemo brain. I really like that, because I know a lot of people are like, chemo brain, like, you were kind of saying a side effect that people don't even know exists, and it is real. It is very real. And then another one that I saw was, I think it was like how cancer patients can afford treatment. I feel like that's another thing that's like nobody talks about. People are either like, oh, I can't afford it, or they think other people are rich. You know, it opens a lot of doorways, because I've met a lot of young survivors that were like, oh, I didn't know how I was gonna live without affording for treatment, but I was able to give them resources like, in Texas, if you have breast cancer and, you don't have good insurance, like the state will pay for your treatment. I didn't pay for anything. Like I didn't pay for none of my surgeries, chemos, radiation, or anything like that. And, I just feel like that's one of those topics that people really don't think about when it comes to cancer. So I was like, wow, this is spicy. I liked that.
Yeah, that was my goal. I tried to stay away from being redundant and really just focus on things that you wouldn't typically see, like for instance, the chemo brain and different ways to pay for treatments, because those things are not talked about at all. It's always the symptoms, do your breast exams, that's really it. But nobody talks about the payments and how it affects your mental and your emotional state. So I just feel like that would help our generation and generations to come.
Do you
You all
guys
have
think-
personal, sorry,
Okay.
go ahead, Ricky.
I was gonna say, do you guys think you taught your families anything? And when you start talking to your moms and friends and stuff, do you feel like you taught people anything?
I think so.
What's new to them?
Because Black health, like you said, isn't talked about. So seeing that, or for instance, my mom seeing me do these posts kind of puts the thought in her head, like, okay, maybe I need to do these mammograms, or maybe I really do need to start doing these breast exams on a daily basis. So it's just reiterating that to her.
Mhm.
I think I also taught my mother something. I know last semester when I was doing the internship, I did the video with my mom, and she told me that she learned a lot from me when I was younger, because I think when I was around 13 or 14, I felt a lump in my breast, and thankfully it wasn't anything. But she just knew that, just from my experience, that she needed to check her breasts more, and that she just needed to pay more attention to her body. And that was kind of just a bonding moment, because I didn't know that, and she said like that she was proud of me, because at that young age, you don't expect, at 13, 12, 14, you're paying attention to possible abnormalities in your body. But that was me. So I was glad that to teach something to somebody that I look up to.
Very cool.
Good.
Very
Wow.
cool.
Do you have personal experiences or any motivators that you want to share? Like, why this internship and why cancer? Do you have connections to, everybody knows somebody, but is there a story that sticks out in your mind that you want to share?
I guess my mom had breast cancer, and it was just a weird, like real stressful time. And I'm like, this is a lot of stress because I don't really know anything about it. So I thought, I was like, oh, my mom's gonna die. So it's like telling people that it's not a death sentence, it's like not something that to fear almost. It's like you can get over it. Like it's important. So yeah.
You were like 14 when your mom was sick, right? How old were you? You tell me.
Maybe younger than that, maybe like 11 or 12.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But thanks to you and all of you, women are going to find it earlier if they do get it. And like, that's what makes it not a death sentence, right? If we find these things earlier, and if we know how to navigate the healthcare system and talk about these things with our families, it's going to make any diagnosis a lot easier, I feel like.
So what happens next? What are your thoughts about, either career? What are your aspirations? What are you guys planning to do at this point? In terms of careers, anybody going to medical school, somebody's in nursing school. Let's start there. What's the next step?
I'll
Nurse.
start.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Go
I
ahead.
just got into nursing school. That's pretty much all I had to say.
That's awesome.
Congratulations. Oh my God.
Congrats.
You signed up for a ride. Okay.
That's awesome. I love the studying. How about you, London? Go ahead.
I think for me, it's graduating undergrad for one. Two, I do want to go to medical school to eventually become a dermatologist, because you don't see a lot of Black dermatologists. So that's my career, hopefully.
I know a couple and they love their jobs because they get to focus on skin, they get to focus on cancer, they can focus on alopecia, on hair care, on all the things that nobody's talking about with people of color especially. And that is a much, much, much needed specialty.
Like even laser laser hair removal. Like some places won't even do it on Black skin.
Mhm.
So I could only imagine what it's like in the actual field.
Yeah.
Oh, I can go next. I'm hoping to go to med school similar to London. I'm also hoping to graduate undergrad. Lord giving. But after
You will. You will. You got this.
You got it,
they're
girl.
taking me to the ringer right now, y'all. I just don't know. But
Right.
but after med school, I kind of hope to do a lot of like outreach into the younger communities. Because growing up in Memphis, we have things called inner city schools, and they don't have a whole lot of resources. So I just kind of moved by like I want to like when I get older in a position to invite and kind of expose younger generations or the people younger than us into like, you can do this, because a lot of those kids grew up with people telling them you couldn't do that. I met a physician once, and he was like, in high school, he shouted a white doctor, and the doctor did everything he could possibly do to deter him from going to med school. And I was like, yeah, I don't want that for myself. I wouldn't want that for myself, for my sisters, or for anybody younger than me. So I'm just kind of hoping I can give back to my community once I get into that position.
Awesome. Wow.
That's great.
I will be graduating fall 2023, so next year.
I like how she said that. She said, I will be graduating.
Yes,
That's right.
I will be. After that, I do plan on going into med school and getting my MD in obstetrics and gynecology. With that, I want to eradicate infant mortality among African American women and children.
Awesome.
It's also something that's not talked about enough, that African American women are 3 times more likely to die in the hospital while giving birth. And that just infuriates me, because I don't see why, when we have one of the most advanced medical, system in the world, but we can't take care of our Black women and our Black babies. So
That's one of those mystery numbers, like breast cancer. Like, how does this happen? Like, why is it happening? And is it racism? I mean, we know there's a lot of science in the breast cancer, conversation, but what's going on? So I'm glad you want to go figure it out, girlfriend. We're counting on you.
thank you.
Chelsea's it. There she goes.
After I graduate,
There she goes.
yeah. After I graduate from undergrad, I do plan on going to medical school, and I would like to become a radiologist, because you also do not see a lot of Black radiologists. And every mentor that I've had has been a white male, because I've had 3 radiologist mentors, and they all have been like old white men, and I just need to be the next one, because we cannot keep having the same type of people taking care of us, and we know that it's failing us.
Right.
Listen, I can count on one hand the number of Black female radiologists that I know, and I'm in a network of over 3,000 Black female doctors, and there are just not nearly enough. But the first person that, we see, right? You go for your screening, your mammogram, your ultrasound, whatever, you feel something, and they say, okay, you need to go get imaging. Who do you go to? The radiologist, right? And if that person doesn't look like you, doesn't explain things, that, if that, even the text, if they don't take the time to say, you know what, I see you, and I know you might be afraid, I know what's going on with you, and let's get you through this. A lot of times you lose people that way, and they don't go back.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like
It
so
was
many of
right.
you guys too, probably like Dr. Mo said, like do feel the pressure of being the person in your families and your friend group that can talk about these things. And I applaud all of you guys for doing research, and because I think it's really okay for you guys in this role to say, I don't know yet, right? And let's go look it up. Or if you do know, feel empowered to share, and I just applaud you guys for being able to do both of those things.
I got a question. What do you guys do for fun? What brings you joy?
Give us the real stuff. I want to see.
I like eating, shopping, and watching Netflix. Those are my top 3.
Cool. Like, what are you going to do when your finals are over? What's the first thing you're going to do?
Right.
Sleep.
That's fair.
I mean, I really like listening to music.
I like to watch.
Listening to music.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead, Chelsea. We got you saying, he said, listening to music.
For fun, I just like to make flyers. Like, I am always on Canva trying to make something.
Wow.
I enjoy
job.
working out and being outdoors. Also watching TV because I haven't turned my TV on yet this semester.
I hear you.
I love arts and crafts. I love making stuff and painting stuff. I mean, I can't paint a picture, but I could paint an object. I love decorating parties and
I
just
think I knew that about you,
crafting.
Ari.
I
That's
plan a lot of
awesome.
stuff. I plan a lot of stuff. I did 2 baby showers this year, a gender reveal, no, 3 baby showers this year, a gender reveal, birthdays. Oh.
I'm right there with you on the event planning. It's been very fun. Chelsea, loving Canva as well. It's good times.
So
what about you, Dr. Mo? You're a busy woman.
Ooh,
What do you like
ooh.
to do in your spare time?
You know what? My niece came home for a month from Los Angeles and she got me watching, we call it trash TV. And it's 90 Day Fiance, all these sort of meet people and get married shows. I marvel at and how people are doing this. So when I need something that's completely mindless and I can put it on while I'm working on slides and working on manuscripts and other things, I might put something like that on in the background. But I love to cook. And so cooking Thanksgiving dinner was a joy for me and my family. We ended up having a minute clinic, health clinic, and doing blood pressures. Ricky, I got the pictures to prove it. Everybody wanted their blood pressures taken. They brought their medications. I didn't even ask them. They brought medications and said, what am I taking this pill for? What's this one do? And it was such a nice time. But yeah, I love to cook and eat.
I love that. I love that. And the day before Thanksgiving, Mo and I did a special episode of Black on Black Doctor about talking to your families about health, knowing your numbers. And so we kind of, challenged each other to talk about it. Yeah. And
well, on my Thanksgiving, I had recently told everyone I had an aunt who was diagnosed with lung cancer and it has metastasized. And, she has been avoiding talking to me, but I got her at Thanksgiving. I saw her. And, she was showing me all the medications that she was on. She showed me like her metastasis x-ray, like all that stuff. And even on Friday, she's having a follow-up with her doctor and I'm going to be there because I'm the only person in the family knows like what questions to ask and, what ground should we be covering. And I feel like you guys can also be that person for your families, especially going into healthcare.
Yeah, I was gonna say, now that you guys are about to go home, like now's the time to catch the family like face to face and have some of those tough conversations. I know that, I have tough conversations with my mom all the time, but it's definitely nice when you'll be able to go home and be like, hey, no, let's talk, which will be beneficial. Holidays are a good time to do that as well.
We love the holidays for just talking about it. At some point we can't hide from it anymore, and you guys have such a great opportunity to be the hero and shero of the family to bring it out and and people identify something before it's a problem, right? That's, you can't prevent breast cancer, but you can early detect it. But you can prevent other things like colon cancer with a colonoscopy and the PSA test for prostate cancer. So many of these diseases that Black people get, you can help them talk about them. 80% of 80% of heart disease is preventable. I think.
Yeah, they're about. Yep.
So
it's true.
So how can you talk? Let's talk about that now. If you can. Oh my gosh.
Well, I think it's a good question for sort of campus-wide campaigns, right? Like how can your campuses do a better job of teaching about screening and risk reduction for cancer? Do your campuses do things? I think, was it you, Anandi, who said that your campus had a week-long event about breast cancer? Do they do that for other stuff like colon and prostate too?
It was just breast cancer so far.
Kind of October, the pink thing, right? So maybe you can start, like how many people do you know whose parents have diabetes? or high blood pressure. You know, it's such a prevalent disease in our community. Could people be doing things to prevent that? And could
Like,
you,
what do you guys think your schools can do? Like, what can somebody in a space do? I mean, then I'm asking even for my own knowledge to share. Like, what do you think our schools, HBCUs, any school should be doing to make sure this message is being shared about Black health and specifically Black breast health?
I think, like I said before, breast cancer is kind of something that is just highlighted in the month of October. And then it kind of, it's kind of like, we'll see you next year.
Right. Still
And
alive, right?
yeah. And I think just making sure, you keep the conversation alive, even when, it's not its designated month to talk about it. I also think with like things like heart disease and diabetes, colon cancer, all of those, it's just, I think it has a lot to do with how health is promoted on campus. And I don't think it's promoted well, especially through our food systems. And especially, I go to Grambling State. So Grambling, Louisiana, it's 5 hours from New Orleans. We got gumbo, fried chicken, all the sausages and rice, dirty rice, red beans and rice, and, all the good fixings. But, what is that doing to your body? And, I'm not saying, put a stop to fried chicken Wednesdays because, that'll start a riot, but just just informing. I know we have a nutritionist on our campus, but I've only seen her, I think, once. But just, highlighting that there's choices that you make in order to prevent, and then there's choices that you make to get you closer to getting that disease. And just promoting good health, like not having, the Chick-fil-A on campus and having like, a Subway instead, or just a, healthier restaurant options. Yeah.
Cool. Where do you guys think we could do better with the internship, or just reaching young people? Like, think about things in your life that where we could have maybe touched you or influenced you or given you information, that you needed to know. Should we be doing other things? We'd be doing more events. Like we did a couple of homecomings. Haley and I this year, I went to Spell House, and Haley where'd you go, to Xavier?
Yeah, we did Xavier. We had people at TSU. Shout out to our interns there who were able to support as well. Spell House, and I did Howard. So we were trying to just get our name out there in that space. I think we'll do like an entire HBCU tour next fall. And I actually would love to do, I know that like, most colleges have a spring something or other, right? And I would love to do that as well, to like bring some of our programming to your campuses, right? Because we want to have equitable outreach, and we know that means that we got to bring it to you sometimes. And
Love
I'm
it.
happy to be there for Fried Chicken Wednesdays, just for that one day. We'll make an exception.
I'll fly in. Yeah.
Right.
That sounds really good. Today's Wednesday, right? No, but like, what else could we do? Like, you guys, we're trying to infiltrate your world and help you have information. And now you guys are like our evangelists. So you got to go preach the gospel everywhere now, and like preach it to your friends. And I know that you will. I mean, I've seen you do it. So what else should we be doing though? What else should we be doing? Because we gotta figure out how to touch everybody with this message, right?
A suggestion I got from my little sister while I was interviewing her was, she thought y'all should make a TikTok, because if you can make a good TikTok, you'll get a lot of people on that.
Yeah. Well, we
That's what I was gonna say, because TikTok is literally the new Google. Like, you could go on TikTok and search up anything. How to get rid of mucus. I got the gout. Like, there's literally everything is on there. I was gonna make gout juice for my coworker because he's walking around limping, and they had a whole bunch of videos about it. I'm like, TikTok's the new Google. So I think for our generation, if we did make like a cool TikTok, I really feel like that would gravitate people in.
Well, we have the one that was made, and we have one from an earlier intern. She did like a breast self-exam on TikTok, didn't she, Ari? Didn't somebody do that last year?
Yeah, but they're saying like
I think
touch.
it was Sydney.
Have a real touchy TikTok.
Yeah, it's probably my fault that we don't have one. For some reason, social media went like over my head when I was
You're
like,
an old soul, Haley. That's all.
I'm just an old soul, and somehow it never got to me. But I worked in schools for years, so I knew all the dances and things, and I hung out at. I like got access to TikTok, but now I don't. Not as not a teacher anymore. I am feeling that weird gap because I did appreciate how TikTok was super musical and got kids moving in a really fun way. So I think you're right. I think it's time, and I will do it. I'm committing right now to this group of people that I will do it.
And you got Ari's got you. Ari's got you. I remember when you made your first TikTok video, Ari, you called me crying. You're like, this is really hard. Right. But actually, we have Miss Pearl in the chat, our Miss Pearl from Chicago, saying, perhaps we could start a movement of wearing breast cancer t-shirts on Friday or Monday. So yeah, like, you know what? I'll show you my socks I have on. Do you know these socks from Mean Girls? On Wednesdays, we wear pink. Did that come from the movie? Like, maybe we should do something like pick a day of the week and make it like boob day or something, where you have to post something about it, right?
I was reluctant to do one of my posts like this because I didn't want it to be too vulgar, but I wanted to do a Titty Tuesday.
That's okay.
I have all
Nothing
these
wrong with
people
it.
following me, so I didn't want to, I got parents and
Hey,
grandparents.
if it catches the eye.
Titties and tatas. That's right. You can do it.
Do it.
When we were at Essence, we have one of our breasties is from she did the Scoop There It Is commercial, so she's also a breast cancer survivor, and she redid the rap and was like, get your titties checked, it was great.
We were following her and singing it with her, so yeah,
literally it was great.
it's like whatever's going to get attention, and I'm a marketing person, so everything has a.
Do y'all know that commercial? It's like a Geico commercial, and the mom's in the kitchen, and then she's like, "Scoop, there it is. Scoop, there it is." No, they play it on YouTube all the time.
She had triple negative. Yeah, she's doing good.
Yeah, yeah, she is.
But yeah, she's using her platform to talk about.
I think, and that's the point too. It's right. Use whatever platform you find to discuss these issues. And I think that's a huge thing for you guys to hopefully take away. And for anyone listening to take away from this experience and see, it's like, use what you have, whether it's a funny pun or line or whatever, whatever your brain comes up with, use it to get this message across.
And you can't stop just because the internship is over.
True.
You can't stop. You've now created this voice, right? So
I was just going to say that, because even after you guys graduate college, women still don't know about their bodies. And even this age of my life, like, I hang out with like 5 other Black females every week. We meet up once a week. And even hanging out with them, they have become more aware about their breasts and doing breast exams. And we have a lot of uncomfortable conversations about our bodies. Like, even in this whole group of 6 people, I'm the only one out of all these girls that hasn't had an ovarian cyst or a rupture. Like, they've all had ruptures. And I'm like, is this something else that like happens to us and I don't know about? Because I just
Justin Bieber's wife had one. I saw it on the news this morning. Doesn't she have some kind of cyst?
Yes, and I asked my gyno-oncologist, and she was like, "Oh, well, sometimes you could get them if you're overweight or if you have bad eating habits." But none of my friends are overweight. They don't have bad eating habits. Most of them work out, and they still got it. So I just feel like maybe she didn't know. Maybe we don't know, because
Many Black women don't know they have cystic or polycystic ovaries until they rupture, and then they have a lot of pain. You can have spotting, but PCOS is a real concern for lots of us because it puts you at higher risk for diabetes, and it can, cause some issues with fertility as well as you get older. So that one is definitely something to talk about. Are there other issues that you guys would want to bring forward and talk about as far as, awareness? Like, what's your next advocacy look like for you?
I think for me, when I had a conversation with my friends about just breast cancer and health overall, we talked about how you can be a better advocate for yourself when you're at the doctor. And I think that is a crucial part of, getting the treatment you deserve, getting the care that you deserve. And I say deserve instead of need, because we always deserve more. You deserve more. I remember talking about, because I had the flu a couple weeks ago. And when I went to the hospital, because my fever had spiked, I was in the, trauma triage, and the doctor just came in and started, just checking my pulse, checking, my heart rate with this stethoscope. And he didn't even tell me his name or like introduce himself. And I'm like, how are you going to come in here and start, touching on me, checking on me, and I don't even know who you are. And so, we deserve more as a patient, as people, as Black women. And I think that's something that I want to emphasize with especially college students, because, we're so busy. And when we get sick, we kind of just put it to the side because we have, academics to take care of, we have clubs to run, we have, jobs to uphold. And so we put our health to the side, and then, then the next day we're in the hospital and we can't do our homework. We can't do what we need to do. And so I want to put an emphasis on, when you feel pain, you're not supposed to be feeling pain as a human being. Your body it's not natural to be in pain. So when you do feel that pain, talk to somebody about it. And then when you talk to somebody about it, make sure that they're invested into what you're saying, and make sure that you feel like they are going to do the absolute best that they can to get the care that you again deserve.
That's so great. That's so great to talk about self-care too, because, you're forming all these life habits now. And, Black women as old as me, we're like these control freak helicopter moms where self-care isn't even a concept we can react, like even think about, right? Because we're so obsessed with taking care of everybody else at our own expense. So you have to start now when you're young and appreciate that it's okay to say no. It's okay to take a pause. It's okay to take a few minutes for yourself, because people my age are crazy. Your mamas are crazy, right? Your mamas are doing
my coworker is your age, and he has been limping for 2 weeks, saying that he's been having gout problems. I'm like, no, you're getting worse. I need you to be comfortable to work. And so yesterday, I literally had to grab my nurse and have an intervention with him. And I was like, look at your ankle.
Wow.
It is huge. And you're still trying to walk around and help patients up and get them down and everything. And he was like, I got to be tough like a man. And I was like, no, you need to stop saying that. You need to go to the ER. Like, he went to the ER, his foot was fractured. He didn't even know. He thought it was a gout. So I just feel like for Black people in general, we got to start doing more self-care and taking a pause and a break.
So glad you're saying that. So you guys, your internship is over. I'm sad about that. I hope you're a little sad about that too, but we'll always be here, so you can come back. But what piece of advice would you give to our next crew of interns?
I would say to use this internship to not only expand your knowledge of breast cancer, but maybe you could use it to expand your knowledge of how to talk to people, or how can you keep up with deadlines. Like, I feel like the biggest takeaway I've had from this internship is, beforehand, I really wasn't good at making flyers and like doing a lot of things. Since I'm in a sorority, sometimes you just kind of have to do things. So that's where I kind of started making flyers at, because sometimes you just got to do it. And if you don't know how, you better learn. So I used this internship to practice making flyers and practice, being creative and engaging with people, something that I wasn't necessarily good at before, but now I used it to get really good at it. And I learned so much more than just about breast cancer. And I feel like you truly learn something when you're able to teach it to others. So not only was I able to learn, but I truly learned because I was able to share my skills and what I learned with other people. And I think that was really great. And that's my biggest takeaway from this internship.
Transferable skills. I love it.
Awesome. I love that. How about you, London?
I think the biggest takeaway for me would be I'm trying to figure out how to word it. Touch people in a way that they haven't been touched before, if you get the pun.
We love that word.
Yep.
Put that in the
I was
comments.
like with my
borrowing
post.
that, stealing that for sure.
Yeah. I'm just really big on trying to inform people about things that aren't really talked about. So that was the biggest thing for me. And even finding the post, like I didn't know anything about the cost and about the chemo brain and all of those sorts of things. So that really stuck out to me. And now I can inform other people about what I've learned.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Anybody else? I don't want to put you on the spot.
Well, for me, my biggest takeaway was it's never too early. Like, I was talking one day at home and my sister comes up to me. She's like, "What's that?" Mind you, she was 11 at the time. And so I was like, "Oh, well, come on, sit down and I'll tell you all about it." So I just feel like the earlier, the more you know, the earlier, the better. Like, there's no age limit to knowledge. It's there for you to take and grab, so like take advantage of it, especially with everything we have now. We got Google, we got TikTok, Snapchat, we got Instagram, we got everything. So it's there for the taking.
I love that. I love that. It's never, I love that. Saint, what do you think?
Are we still doing advice for the next?
Yeah, what's your biggest takeaway?
I would say don't be scared to have fun with it, because you need to really like personalize your way of getting the information out there. So people are more likely to respond to something that like has some pizzazz to it. So make it interesting.
Gotta have some good music, right, Saint?
Great.
I would say, just start the conversation, ask the hard questions, and most of all, create that safe space so that you can let people in, and that people, because, like I said, people have questions. You just have to create the space so they're comfortable asking them.
Great.
Love it. Use whatever you got wherever you are, huh?
I love the idea of also just like making sure people feel safe, right? That's like a huge plus, when I know that half the reasons I do what I do is because I felt safe in that space, or I felt safe with that person. So that's a big deal.
That's great.
There it is. We hope to see you guys back again to be able to talk more about this. We had a question in the chat about, partnering with pre-nursing and pre-medical students. Are there any plans or wishes that you would have to continue this work on your campuses?
I would hope that there would be, some type of partnership with I know my biology department does research with cancer. I'm not sure if it's breast cancer, but they do research with breast cancer. Also with they just created a new program called the Pre-Med Initiative, and it's based on, you know, helping students succeed with the MCAT, but I feel like this program could be a lot more, where it branches out into because you know the MCAT isn't everything that you need to get into medical school and become a doctor. You know, you have to be a well-rounded person. So branching out into internships where you do talk about, you know, Black breast cancer, or you do some type of research, or any type of, just, you know, you're talking about health to people. And I feel like that would shape a lot of our pre-med students here, if they had the opportunity to talk about health to their peers and to their families.
Interesting. You know, I always think that, you know, when you guys are in undergrad, and I did pre-med, I did not become a doctor because I decided I didn't like the sight of blood, but you know, you're sort of in the books and in the lab and everything. I think that I'm hoping that this gave you an opportunity to talk to people about what you're working on a little bit, you know, like open the doors for conversation. So taking you out of the lab and the books into life. So, you know, just kind of looking at what you're doing in a different way, because pretty soon it's going to be a people business. Right?
Absolutely.
People, it's the most, you know.
Every business is a people business, including medicine.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think that those skills again are transferable, and getting out and talking to people to find out what their needs are, what they know, what are their misconceptions, right? I always lead with, when I see patients, with what do you understand about what's going on? Because sometimes you find that people understand everything and they got it, but a lot of times they don't. And so asking those open-ended questions is a great way to engage in that dialogue, especially with your peers, you know, because we don't want to assume that we know everything or assume that they know nothing, because you guys are proof, you know, proof positive that the level of education, of awareness, of sophistication, and all of this health literacy is like, it's next level. It really, really is. And it's so impressive to see. And to hear and to know that you're spreading it to others, you know, like this is a great example of things that we do really, really, that we're getting right as a people, right? The future for Black health looks bright because of you.
Because of you. You guys are going to make it bright. You guys are going to make it bright. So we're counting on you. We're counting on you. And we're going to put a bunch of your posts and videos on our social over the next couple weeks. And, you know, we have a great video too of Jada talking to her dad. Jada's not here today, who had prostate cancer. And he has a great sort of soliloquy that he said about how he had to be the captain of his health, the CEO of his ship. And so it was a great lesson for them to have that conversation. So we'll post some of your stuff, and you guys keep posting and keep talking to us and call us. You know how to find us.
Yeah, I'll definitely be hitting you up so I can come to those any spring events. I can bring some programming to your school. So don't ignore me.
Let us know how we can support you now or in the future. Anything that you need, we're here for you. So we appreciate you.
And if you need advice on med school, you know, Mo's here.
Yep. Research, you know, master's degree in molecular biology. So if you want lab experiences, and if we can connect you to other places where you want to intern and things that you want to do, we can connect you to those resources too. So this is awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now go back to work.
Good luck on finals. Yes.
Good luck, everyone.
Rock it out.
Yes, good luck. I'm so proud of y'all.
One of the internship requirements, you know, so.
A's.
Right.
There
it is. Much love to all of you. We hope it's been relatable and reliable and real. For sure, it has been today. So breasty love and intern love to all of you.
Yeah. And next week we're going to be at SABCS, live from SABCS, Mo. So we'll be learning about all the stuff that's going on with breast cancer. So
awesome.
Here you guys. Blessings. Breasty love.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
There it is.
Dang. Bye.